I went up to Brisbane. I spent the weekend at the W Hotel, and I went and visited a friend whose birthday it was. Had a terrific night, went to a lovely restaurant, and stayed at a lovely hotel and all that good stuff. And I got to meet another very dear friend of mine there I haven't seen for a while. His name is Rick Cowley, and you can actually find him here on Instagram. I think it's under Vision Quest or Rick Cowley if you look him up. He's one of the very few people I follow. If you look at the people I follow on Instagram, you'll see Rick there. And Rick is a San Diego originally. He lives in Bali until this mayhem went down. And he's a cancer survivor, very cool guy, spiritual guy. And he runs retreats in Bali for people to find their life purpose and their mission in life. And I haven't seen Rick for a while because it's just been so crazy with everything. But he was so instrumental in me getting into what I'm doing with Reliable Education. I actually was struggling big time when I was in Los Angeles towards the end, when I was owning my animation company there, and I was suffering very badly in the area of mental health. I was suffering extreme anxiety, panic attacks daily, and I was hospitalized, medicated, counseled, the whole lot. It was really quite terrifying, the level of anxiety that I had and the problems. And part of that recovery, a friend of mine who lived in Maui, her name's Carmen, she reached out and said, "Hey, listen, Adam, I've heard what you've been going through. You should go see my friend Rick and just hang out in Bali for a minute and go spend some time with him and do one of his retreats." Now, if this is interesting to you, feel free to hook up with Rick. You can Google him, Rick Cowley, Bali Vision Quest will bring up his website, or just hit him up on Instagram here. He's got a retreat coming up actually in Queensland, if you can get here, and he's got another one coming up after that. Both of them are in Australia. He's on the Sunshine Coast at the moment. Anyways, I went over there, I did this retreat, and it changed everything. It was quite remarkable, and it's where I decided to start Reliable Education, and what got me back into life again. I sold my animation company in my board shorts on that island in Bali. I signed the contract, faxed it back to America, and then went home and picked up the check and moved back to Australia as a result of making the decision while I was there. Anyway, Rick said something to me over dinner, which I wanted to share with you, because I've been reflecting on it ever since, and I think there's some really valuable lessons in here for everyone. He said to me, "Adam, watching you over the last 5 years has been amazing. And one of the things I love about you the most is that you are a rising tide. You're the kind of person that makes people feel better, that lifts people and lifts every boat around you." And it was such a kind thing to say, and it really stopped me in my tracks. And he said, "It's just such a remarkable gift." And I thought about that a lot, like, what is it in me that wants to speak positively into people's lives? What is it that in me that wants to find that one positive and amplify it, and to encourage people and to grab them by the arm and look them in the eye and say, "I believe in you," right? With no agenda. Like I'm not trying to get cut into their business or any of that stuff. I just want them to live their best life and to make the most of this brief moment. And part of it, I think, is my childhood. And I'll talk about two areas, one being my mum. My mum was just the kindest woman on earth, and losing her made me really value life, I think, and she was always that person in my life that spoke kindness and love and belief into my life. And that was important because I have had these big teeth since I was a child, except when I was a child, they didn't join in the middle. I had a big gap in the middle. I had stains on them. They stuck out a little bit. I got called Bucky. I got teased by everybody from when I was a child. And my mum was the one safe haven. She was the one person who never, my brothers teased me. My dad even teased me at times, but my mum never did. She always built me up. She always made me feel good. And she always said, "Adam, sometimes you got to be your own best friend, and you're a wonderful boy, and you're kind." And I think that may have rubbed off on me, and because I was teased mercilessly, I had to learn to win friends and influence people. And that's where I developed my sense of humor and my love of telling a good joke, and my memory recall for that kind of stuff is really strong because it was a survival mechanism as a child to make people laugh and like me, right? And later in life, that became a huge gift. And I wanted to connect another dot, which was when I was traveling around with Gary Vee and Grant Cardone. When I first met Grant, he was backstage. I think it was in Sydney or Melbourne, I can't remember. Thousands of people out the front, and Grant arrived, and everybody backstage was buzzing and going over to see Grant, and Elena was standing over to the side on her own. And so I went straight over to Elena and just struck up a conversation. And she's a beautiful woman in real. I mean, she's obviously beautiful in photographs, but when you see her in real life, she's just a beautiful woman in all ways. Like her heart, her femininity, her soul, her kindness. You know, she's just a great lady. And we got chatting, and I cracked a joke with her straight up. I said, "How's it been traveling on the jet with 3 kids?" Knowing she only has 2 plus Grant, but Grant's basically a big kid. And we struck up this wonderful conversation, and she said to me something very interesting which got my attention, and she said, "You know, Adam, one thing about me is that I'm the best friend you could have. Like, I am the best friend. I believe in my friends. I lift my friends up. I'm always kind to my friends. I'm always there for them. I'm a ride or die chick, you know, because she comes from a poor family in the South. And she doesn't come from much. She's a proper good human, you know, and Grant and her met when she was an actress in Los Angeles, and it's a whole amazing story around that. But she said, Adam, it took me the longest time before I became the greatest friend that I could be to me. And that, I think, was really a striking thing, and something that I think I've always been pretty good at is at being a friend to me. I've never beaten myself up. I've always been in my own corner because of what Mum used to say to me when I was a kid, and it stuck. And Jim Rohn used to say, you know, don't underestimate the power of a kind word or a word of belief or a word of wisdom to the right person at the right moment, when they're vulnerable or when they're hurt or when they're down. Their heart is open and they're vulnerable. And if you can speak kindness and belief and trust and faith and stuff into people at that moment, you will become a part of the fabric of their life, the tapestry of their life experience that they will never ever forget. But that goes for you as well. It goes for the self-talk and the way you look at yourself and what you say to yourself in these quiet moments, right? You need to be your own best friend, because the trick of life is this. Every day we wake up and we're given a blank canvas. Today, as I'm driving down the Gold Coast Highway, it is a spectacular day. It is another beautiful, cloudless, sunny day. But what happens today is up to what happens in my head, right? What happens today and what unfolds depends on what's going on in here. So if you wake up in the morning and you are telling yourself all the things that you did wrong or where your shortcomings are, and reminding yourself and replaying all the shit that you went and did wrong, you are not going to trick your subconscious mind into the idea that you are worthy of success. And that idea is the very foundation of all success in life. You're not going to stay in a relationship that you don't believe you're good enough to be in. You're going to sabotage it, right? If you believe that the guy or girl you're dating is way out of your league and it's only a matter of time, you're right? If you believe that you are making too much money and it's only a matter of time before somebody figures it out, you're right? If you don't believe you're worth it, you are not. That is it. You know, what is that old saying? As we think we are, somebody will type it in the comments here. As a man thinketh, you know, that old saying. I think, therefore I am. So, guys, I want to just get you thinking this Monday about how good a friend are you to you? How good a friend are you to you? If the very basis of success comes from your own self-belief, your own subconscious belief of what you believe you are worth and what you deserve in life, how are you doing on that score? Do you need, and think about it, because, you know, the irony of this is that sometimes people who are the worst at loving themselves are the best at loving others. You know, and I know so many people like that. They are amazing mothers, they are amazing parents, they are amazing partners, and they're shit at loving themselves. And therefore, they are never really in their power. They are never really touching that level of happiness and feeling of self-satisfaction and self-worth and health and financial abundance that they crave, but they don't have the courage to get, because they just have that broken thing. And you'll probably find that it's somewhere in your childhood you weren't validated, you weren't loved, whatever it is. There's some great people in the world that can help you with that. Anthony Robbins wrote a great book called Unlimited Power, another one called Awaken the Giant Within. I can't remember which one it was, but it might have been Awaken the Giant Within, which went deep into beliefs. And it's an old book now, 25 years old, but geez, you just can't change it. That stuff's true, right? So rate yourself this morning on a scale of 1 to 10 on how you love those who you love, and then rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 of how you love yourself. Because that self-love, many of you are amazing lovers of other people, but you need to be an amazing lover of you. And when you do, you will find you will attract more money. You'll find you'll attract a deeper love with others. You'll find that you will become authentically a rising tide. You will be somebody that when you pass away, when you die, you will have a full funeral, because people will be there to say he or she was the kind of person that when you left their presence, this is another Jim Rohn quote, he said, the best effect of a fine person is often felt after you have left their presence. What a beautiful way to be described. Like the fragrance left on the heel of the that crushed it. You know, that beautiful saying that forgiveness is the fragrance of the flower left on the heel that crushed it. So what fragrance, what aftertaste do you leave? And that comes down to self-love, because it's one thing to pour love into another person, but when you pour love into another person from a place of self-love yourself, it doesn't come with need. It doesn't come with, I'm doing this to fill me. It comes with, I'm doing this to fill you when you are already full. I hope that helps, guys. So pour on the love into you and see what happens in your life. Have a magical week. Again, for our friends in Melbourne or anywhere in the world in lockdown, sending you love. This too shall pass. And play the long game. Before you know it, you'll be back and out and about, and the rest of the world is waiting. Use this time wisely. Love you lots. Have a beautiful day, my friends. Bye for now. Hey guys, if you enjoyed that video, make sure you hit subscribe as well as the little bell that's sitting around here so that you get notified when we drop any new videos. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe and the bell.